What's up again, everybody? Today we've got a really fun video. Today we're going to talk about two things. One, we're going to talk about this Pro Play 2022 announcement that is kind of old news. I do say that I did not make a video right away about it. This was posted on August 3rd. It's kind of old news, but it's still fantastic to talk about and to really dive deep into. So that's going to be the first thing we do, is dive deep into this, give you a full breakdown of what everything is discussed within this, because if we do that, then we may come to our second point. And the second point, I feel, has some wide-ranging implications on the game, and I don't hear enough people talking about it. And I'm curious to see if you think the same thing. Based on what the article says, I think we may have to find another format that fits into this game. It's very interesting. Anyway, I will say this. I did see one video talk about this exact topic for a very brief moment, and it was a fantastic video, by the way, where they broke down this whole thing. And that channel was The Tall Timmy. Yes, the name of the channel is The Tall Timmy. It is a fantastic YouTube channel. It has literally the best YouTube intro and catchphrase out of every Flesh and Blood YouTube channel, including my own. It's absolutely fantastic. I need you to hear it, so I'm just gonna click on the Tall Timmy's YouTube channel. I hope he doesn't like sue me, because I really just want you to, that's it right there. Okay, look, maybe I'll just put it on the screen, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it like this.
Hey, welcome back to the Talk Timmy's YouTube channel, where we talk about all things flesh and blood. And team, where are we and what are we doing?
It's so good. Every time he just kills it. Every time. I'm sorry if that was like copyright infringement. I apologize. You can make me take this video down, Tall Timmy, but I'm a fan of your intro. So he talked about this topic, so go check out that video. It's pretty fantastic. Before we get too far, hey, that number's about to go to 5K. If you want to make it go to 5K, we get to give away playmats. I have playmats to give away and some other stuff. So if you'd like to make that number go up, hit the subscribe button. You can hit the like on this video as well, and the number will go up, and we'll all be happy together. Let's first talk about the $1 million Pro Play stuff. So, by the way, they're giving $1 million in 2022. That's it. There you go. There's my thing. No. Okay, this breakdown right here is huge. So in 2022, Flesh and Blood has committed $1 million of prize money towards a variety of different championships, or pro tours, or callings, or world championships. And the breakdown is here. So now you can see my cursor. I fixed it to where you could see my cursor because I want to point to stuff. Okay, so they have committed money to the tune of $1 million across these types of events. So for the world championships, there will be a total of $300,000 up for grabs as far as prizing is concerned. Now, that's not $300,000 to the winner. That's going to be split amongst, I don't know how far they're going to split it. They're going to split it across like top 8, I don't know. They split it a lot. I don't know. But that is a huge number. Now, just as equally huge is the number that they're committing for the calling, which is the exact same number. But there are going to be far more callings than they will world championships. There will be one world championship, and there will be many callings, which we'll talk about in a second. Pro Tours, as well, will have a combined $200,000 worth of prizes, which are happening April and July 2022. April, I'm going to assume it's April through July 2022. And then Q3 2022 National Championships, and this is like a plural, I believe, National Championships, because they do in the article down below talk about other national championships and a certain number of national championships. So keep all of this in mind. There's lots of money as far as competitive play is concerned, coming from a very small game, right? That no one play. No, I don't want to say that. I'm not going to be that guy. People play the game. Look, that's why there's prize money, and that's why it's super fun. That's why it's growing. Okay. So the World Championship, just really quickly breeze through this, and I know you can't see some of it. I wish I could like kind of make it bigger, but I don't want my patrons to go away. I like you there, patrons. The World Championship is the pinnacle of Flesh and Blood competitive play. Represent your country and compete with the best Flesh and Blood players in the world across multiple formats at the inaugural Flesh and Blood World Championship. This invitation-only event will take place November 2022. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. and will offer the opportunity to compete for the title of World Championship and a share of the USD $300,000 in prize money, which is very, very cool. Now, it talks about how you're actually going to go about getting an invite to the World Championship. Basically, you need a PTI, which you can get at professional level events. See the video that I made on the competitive play kind of pathways. I talked about it in that. Or if you're just really, really good, that's it. If you're just really, really good at Flesh and Blood, you'll get invited. Look, it says so right there. Rating-based invitation. So play a lot of Flesh and Blood and win a lot of games, and you could get invited to the World Championships, even if you don't win a PTI. Though, obviously, if you are really good, then you could probably just win a PTI, and you'd be happy. Okay. Now, this, by the way, breaks down how a PTI works. Essentially, a PTI invitation does not expire. You can build up a bunch of them, and that's kind of nice. You can use them to go places and to get into things. I'm not going to read the rest of that. This talks about Road to Nationals this year, which is currently going on. By the way, some very interesting results so far in that one. This talks about the November 5th Orlando, Florida U.S. National Championship with $50,000 of prize money on the line. Keep that number in mind as we come down to the National Championships. Now, on to these things, and this is where we need to start breaking some stuff down because it's going to have some implications to the future of the game and why we might need a new format. Pro Tours are invitation only with $100,000 on the line at each event, along with the title of Pro Tour Champion. Pro Tours are planned for April in the U.S. and yet to be decided non-U.S. location in July. So, in fact, this up here is not an April through July. It's one event and then another event. Hence why we get $200,000 worth of prizing and why they say right here that Pro Tours have, per Pro Tour, a $100,000 prize pool. Okay. And again, you're competing to get your share. To get into these, that you can redeem a PTI, you can have ratings-based invitation. Again, just be good at the game, or you can get a ProQuest invitation and get in that way, which are not things that roll over. You have to use them or lose them, which is why it says use it or lose it right there. All that being said, we should go to the callings, and this is where things get very interesting. Hear the call of the Flesh and Blood community with large-scale, high-level play surrounded by a bustling, fun-filled public event schedule, blah, blah, blah. We know what callings are to a certain degree. We're going to see callings hopefully very soon in a variety of different places. They are open entry, by the way, and this is the big one. Up to 30 calling events spanning the globe are planned for 2022. Up to 30 callings. And 2 Pro Tours. Okay, keep the numbers rolling. We're up to 32 events that they've already announced, which is exciting. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Each calling main event features $10,000 in prize money, which it does currently right now, as well as gold cold foil things, which are super cool. There are callings that are going out in September. I'm going to Las Vegas. Are you going to Las Vegas? I mean, I already talked about how I'm going to Las Vegas, so yeah, hopefully you are. If you are, let me know in a comment below. I'm so excited because I'm really trying to push through this to get to this talk. I want to get to this talk, okay? National Championships planned to run across Q3 2022. The biggest national championships will offer cash prizes alongside prize cards with a total worldwide prize pool of $200,000. And that's an important note. Currently, the national championships prize pool is $50,000, which means they could run 4 national championships to kind of merit that out, but they say the biggest national championships will offer cash prizes. There are possibilities. I think it's right here. No, maybe it's towards the bottom. Did they put a little asterisk anywhere? No, they do say at one point, I don't know if it's in this article or maybe it's down below, they say that, oh, by the way, in some countries where it's like not okay to give cash prizes, we'll do some support via, like, I don't know, gold cold foil stuff like that, right? Some way to balance out that the fact that they're not able to give out a cash prize in a certain country. But this, if they just kept this, like, let's just assume that they kept it at $50,000 per major event. That means there's 4 more events, so that's 36 major events. 36 major events across 2022, which is huge. I think it's down here. Yeah, all events will take place subject to local health and travel guidelines. That's important to note even for the upcoming callings. This one, in jurisdiction where cash prizes are prohibited, alternate pricing may be offered. Okay, so here's, now that we've blown through that, here's my thing. I'm putting on the tinfoil hat, but it's really not that tinfoily. It's kind of straight up just a fact that we all have to face. If next year there will be 30 whatever events I said, 36? Ish, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. If next year that's the case, at the current rate, we may have far too many heroes banned. Because again, if you're thinking about the Living Legend status change that I made a video on, by the way, link up there about the Living Legend status change, if you're thinking about that video and the new system they have in place, these events will count obviously towards those heroes being banned. Think about it this way. Let's just say that Dash is really, really good. Let's just say Dash is very, very good. Let's say Dash is just better. Dash currently, if I remember correctly, doesn't have any points. In fact, we should go poke over to this. I think I find that in articles. We're just going to bounce over real fast. It's on the, where's the change? That's not it. Here it is, Living Legend status. Dash currently in Classic Constructed has, 40 points. Remember, you get to 1,000 points in your band. Okay. Out of the 36 events that are next year, if Dash comes away with 10 first place finishes out of those, which is like a third of the events. That's not counting the stuff that happens this year. So if she comes away with those things, that's not counting those. If she comes away with, I don't know, Road to Nationals points, more points. If she comes away with a bunch of wins, a bunch of first place finishes, she's gone. Like, within a year. It's the same thing with Katsu. He's gone within a year. It's the same thing with Dorinthia. She's gone within a year. We may run into an issue. Maybe it's not an issue. Maybe it's actually just like, maybe it's actually very interesting. We may run into a situation, I'll put it that way, wherein these heroes that are just, I don't know, I don't want to say heads and shoulders above the others, but are consistently high performing, go on a run where they just win 10 events and earn enough points to reach Living Legend status. With that many professional level events, we may just hit that very quickly. We may just hit that incredibly quickly. I'm not worried about it because here's the thing. I feel as though Legend Story Studios understands this and probably sat down and talked about this when they made these Living Legend changes. I believe that that's the case because I believe they're just killing it as far as gameplay and like professional, like just building a community and like a scene for professional play. And just as far as that's concerned, I feel like they have a really good grip on what they're doing. But it's also very interesting because if we get a bunch of heroes rotating, like if we all of a sudden next year have, I don't know, 3 or 4 heroes rotate into the Living Legend status, then they have to replace those heroes because they said they would, right? They said they were going to replace heroes in the very next set after they were printed. In fact, in this article, they said that, which is very intriguing. It's very intriguing. This could mean if we get just this swath of heroes that get moved into the Living Legend status, it may mean we need a new format wherein you only play Living Legend status heroes. And someone mentioned this on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, that's a new format, a new way to do it, and it works perfectly in the video I was already planning on sitting down and making tonight. So let's talk about that. It very well could mean that players may just have to tap into a new format where they can play those heroes that have rotated out. If Chain does just really consistently well, just like super, super good. I mean, we've already seen multiple Road to Nationals wins for Chain, a couple for Dash. All I'm saying is that this number could just shoot up if that many tournaments are being run next year. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that they're going to run the tournaments. I want to go to as many of these things as I can. Maybe I'll play. I don't know. Maybe I'll be really good at the game. I would have to sit down and gain time and just jam a bunch of games. I feel like I'm reasonable at the game. I feel like I have good insights and I could play just about anything put in front of me. But there are people that are just like, whew, so much further because they have just invested so much play time. But I would love to go to as many of these events as possible. Doesn't matter. I want to go to them. But it's going to be interesting. If there are this many events on the docket next year, what that's going to do to these numbers. Because if Roads to Nationals points are factoring in here, even if they only factor a little bit, and then major Pro Quest, Pro Tour, callings, national championships, and the World Championship, if all of those also factor in, which they do, to these numbers, then we're going to have some very interesting times on our hands at the end of next year. I guess I need to set a reminder a year from now to check in on this board and to do a year later update. So that's my video for you today. This is something that I haven't heard many people talk about, and I want to know your opinion. What do you think about the possibility of multiple heroes rotating within a year? What do you think that's going to do to the meta? Obviously, it's going to shake it up like crazy. What do you think that's going to do to your favorite hero? And would you play a format where it was only living legend status heroes? Let me know in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, hit a like and subscribe. If you learned something, tell me that in a comment below because it makes me feel better about taking the time out of my schedule to make these videos. I enjoy doing it, but I really like to hear from you guys if you also enjoyed it as well. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.